Imagine waking up one day to find the life you've spent half a century building, with your husband shattering in an instant. After 50 years of love, trust, and shared memories, you stumble upon a secret so shocking that it feels like the ground beneath you has disappeared. What if that secret wasn't just a lie, but an affair with the person you thought was your friend, the neighbor, living right next door? And what if that betrayal led to a violent death? This isn't a story made up for a thriller. This is real life, an unimaginable tragedy that shook a quiet neighborhood to its core. This is the true crime story of Anna, a woman who spent decades building a life with Carlos, her husband. Together, they created a family, raised children, and built memories. For over 50 years, they shared everything until one afternoon everything changed. It wasn't a shocking confession or an unexpected argument. It was a simple phone message that shattered Anna's reality. A single text revealed the unimaginable. Carlos, the man she had loved and trusted, had been having an affair with their next-door neighbor. That message, those few words, would set off a deadly chain of events. What would you do if you found out the person you loved most had betrayed you in such a way? Would you stay and fight for your marriage, or would you walk away, leaving behind decades of shared history? Would you ever be able to trust again? As we explore Anna's journey, ask yourself, how would you react in her shoes? Would you confront your husband? Or would the truth be too much to bear? Let's dive into this shocking story, one that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about love, trust, and the cost of betrayal. Anna was a devoted wife and mother. Her life was dedicated to her family and community. She poured her heart into everything she did, raising her children, organizing events, and offering a helping hand whenever needed. And at her side, always was Carlos, her husband. A hard-working man, respected by all, Carlos was the pillar of their family. As a successful contractor, he provided for them, ensuring that they had everything they needed. Together, they were a team, unbreakable, it seemed. For 5 decades, they lived what seemed like an unshakable life. Together, they raised their children, celebrated milestones, and cherished their anniversaries. Their love, like the foundation of their home, was solid. At least that's what everyone believed. Their love story began at a local dance, where Anna and Carlos first met. The chemistry between them was undeniable. Something sparked instantly, and from that moment on they knew they were meant to be. Their early years were filled with adventure, laughter, and shared dreams. Together they built a life filled with hope, passion, and a deep connection. They were unstoppable. 2 people who were building not just a home, but a future. In those early years, their life was full of promise, love that felt everlasting, goals they chased together, and the joy of building a family. Every milestone was celebrated with the same passion they had for each other. To them, the future was always brighter together. But as the years passed, things began to change. The children grew up, moved out, and the house grew quieter. What once had been filled with the laughter of children now echoed with silence. The familiar hum of daily life became a distant memory. Slowly, the spark that once lit their marriage started to dim. What once felt like an unbreakable bond began to unravel in ways Anna couldn't fully understand. Carlos had always been the one to come home to Anna's warm smile, the one to share stories about his day. But now those moments were few and far between. His late hours, his distracted demeanor, his focus seemed to lie elsewhere. And Anna could feel the growing distance, though she couldn't yet understand why. Anna couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. It wasn't just the silence in their home. It was the absence of connection, the absence of the man she once knew so well. But like many things in life, the cracks were small at first, easy to overlook. Then enter Monica, Carlos' new neighbor. She was young, vibrant, and full of energy. At first, she seemed like just another friendly face in the neighborhood, someone who could bring a little life to the quiet street. But what Anna didn't know, as Monica began visiting their home more often, was that this seemingly innocent woman was about to become the catalyst for destruction, unraveling everything Anna had worked so hard to build. At first, Anna dismissed it. A friendly neighbor, nothing more. But as the days went by, Monica began to visit more often, each time drawing Carlos in a little deeper. Their conversations were lively, full of energy, and it wasn't long before Anna noticed Carlos smiling in a way she hadn't seen in years. It was as if something inside him was awakening again. Only, it wasn't her that was bringing him to life. Though Anna tried to remain hopeful, she couldn't ignore the growing unease deep inside her. What was once just a friendly neighborhood relationship was now something more. And soon Anna would discover that the damage had already begun. At first, Anna brushed off the small signs. Carlos working late wasn't unusual. He had always been dedicated to his work. His wardrobe was changing, yes, but she thought maybe it was just a new phase. And Monica, well, she was just a friendly neighbor, right? At least that's what Anna told herself over and over again. But then things started to shift. Carlos began to be unreachable, often coming home later and later, claiming to be tied up with work or meetings. The moments he once reserved for her were now slipping away, and Anna couldn't ignore it any longer. As Carlos grew more distant, the small signs Anna had once brushed off began to build. His late nights became more frequent, his excuses more vague. And then one evening, as she walked past the living room, Anna saw it. The phone, his phone, lying on the couch, buzzing with a new notification. It was there in black and white. The truth Anna had been avoiding. Late-night texts, words full of meaning. An emotion that shouldn't have been there. Her heart sank as she scrolled further. It wasn't just friendly banter. It was something deeper, something much more dangerous. Anna sat there frozen, staring at the phone. Her world, her Trust, everything she had built with Carlos was crumbling before her eyes. And now the question was no longer if he was betraying her, but why. Anna knew. This was only the beginning. The painful truth had been revealed. But now the hardest part lay ahead. Confronting the man she thought she knew. One afternoon, when Anna was sorting through the house, she came across Carlos' phone once again, lying carelessly on the coffee table. First, she hesitated. Should she look? But curiosity mingled with a growing sense of dread pushed her to unlock the phone once more. Then she saw it. A message from Monica. Just a simple sentence, but it was enough to shatter everything Anna had believed. The message was simple, but it carried with it the weight of 100 lies. The truth hit Anna like a blow to the chest. Her husband, the man she had spent 50 years with, had not only been hiding his affair, but had been planning another meeting with Monica, just the two of them. The life she thought she had, the love she had believed was unbreakable, was nothing but a lie. For a moment, Anna just sat there frozen as the reality of her marriage came crashing down around her. Everything she had built, everything she had trusted was now in pieces. The woman she had once called a friend, and the man she had shared her life with had shattered the very foundation of her world. In that instant, everything changed. Anna's trust was gone, her heart broken beyond repair. She had uncovered the truth, but at what cost? In a whirlwind of pain and rage, Anna couldn't hold it in any longer. The truth had been laid bare. And the time for silence was over. Her heart pounded in her chest as she stormed into the living room. The weight of betrayal fueling her every step. Carlos was there, unaware of the storm about to hit him. She didn't need to say a word. Her face told him everything he needed to know. And when she finally spoke, the floodgates opened. Carlos tries to explain himself. His words tumbling out in a frantic attempt to make sense of his actions. But nothing, he says, can fix it. Nothing can undo the hurt, the betrayal that has already set in. Each word he speaks only digs the knife in deeper. And Anna's trust in him crumbles further with every passing second. Anna could feel it. The love, the trust, the years of shared history, all slipping away with each excuse, each hollow apology. She had given him her heart, and in return, he had shattered it. And as the words kept coming, Anna realized this wasn't the man she had married. This wasn't the man she had spent 50 years of her life with. There was nothing left to say. The words that had once bound them together were now the very ones that tore them apart. And in that silence, Anna realized that what was broken could never be fixed. As Anna's confrontation with Carlos rips their marriage apart, the fallout extends far beyond just the two of them. The cracks that had formed between them over the years now spread wider, and the emotional toll spills over into every part of their lives. Their children, once sheltered from the turmoil, begin to sense that something has changed. The home that was once filled with laughter, And love now feels strained and tense. And the signs are unmistakable. Jake, their son, could no longer ignore the tension that had settled in their home. What was once a safe, warm place now felt like a battlefield. The closeness he once felt with both of his parents was slipping away, replaced by uncomfortable silences and cold exchanges. Emily, their daughter, could feel the change, too. The laughter and joy that had once filled their home were replaced by uncertainty and pain. Their children, who had grown up with the image of a perfect family, now found themselves caught in the middle of a storm they couldn't understand. Their children, like Anna, were now living with the fallout. Jake and Emily could see the cracks in their parents' marriage, but they had no idea how deep those cracks ran. For them, the foundation they had always known was beginning to shift beneath their feet. The impact of Carlos' betrayal was far-reaching. It wasn't just Anna who was suffering. It was the entire family. The emotional weight of infidelity was now pressing down on everyone in the household. And no one knew how to escape it. As the cracks deepened, the family was left to face the reality of a future where the ties that once bound them together were no longer strong enough to hold them. Days turned into weeks, and with each passing moment, the tension in the house grew. Carlos, despite the confrontation, continued his affair. He tried to act normal, but Anna could no longer ignore the emotional toll it was taking on her. Her mind raced, her heart torn between a desire for answers and the overwhelming hurt she felt. The house that was once filled with warmth was now a cold battlefield. Every conversation, every glance, charged with unspoken accusations. As the silence continued to stretch, Anna's emotional turmoil reached its breaking point. She could no longer pretend everything was fine. She couldn't sit in this suffocating silence any longer. And so she did the only thing she could think of. She demanded answers, not from Carlos, but from the woman who had torn apart her life. Anna knew what she had to do. She was going to confront Monica. Anna's heart raced as she walked toward the door, every step echoing the rage and hurt inside her. She couldn't keep living in the shadows of Carlos' betrayal. She had to face it head on. And if that meant confronting Monica herself, then so be it. She needed answers. She needed to know how long this had been going on and why. The moment had arrived. Anna had demanded the truth. And now Monica was standing on the doorstep. The game was about to change. And everything Anna had been holding inside was about to come pouring out. No more pretending. No more silence. The truth was here. And it was time for Anna to face it head-on. Monica stands in the doorway, a nervous smile playing at the edges of her lips. But Anna's gaze is cold, unyielding. She steps aside without a word, allowing Monica into the house where everything has already changed. The air is thick with tension. This is no longer a friendly confrontation. This is a Showdown. Anna doesn't waste any time. Her emotions are raw. Her voice sharp. With fury as she demands the truth. Monica tries to respond, but her words only fuel Anna's rage. There's no hiding. Now. The time for explanations is over. This is about the pain, the betrayal. The broken trust. Monica's words do nothing to quell Anna's anger. Each excuse, each attempt to explain herself, only makes the situation worse. There's no sympathy left for Monica. Only the cold, raw reality of betrayal. Anna's rage burns brighter as she realizes just how deeply this woman has hurt her, how far the lies have gone. The confrontation reaches a boiling point. The tension between the two women is unbearable. And Carlos, finally, realizing that he can't fix this, takes a step back. This is Anna's fight now. A fight not just for herself, but for the family she's lost. For the life she thought she had. As Monica leaves, the weight of the moment lingers in the room. For Anna, the confrontation is over, but the wounds are deep and the road to healing is uncertain. The trust she once had, shattered beyond repair, will never return. And as Monica walks out the door, Carlos is left standing in the ashes of the life he once knew. Now, only silence remains. And in that silence, Anna must face the truth. The love she thought was unbreakable is gone, and the future she imagined with Carlos has crumbled. The tension in the room reaches a boiling point. Words have failed. Explanations fall flat and the raw emotions simmer beneath the surface. Monica's attempt to justify herself one last time strikes a nerve with Carlos. In that moment, something inside him snaps. A fleeting moment of rage, an impulse he can't control, and in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Monica hits the floor with a force that echoes through the house. In that moment, time seems to slow to a crawl. The room goes silent. The air once thick with tension now feels suffocating. Carlos stands there, his eyes wide with disbelief. His hands shaking as he looks down at what he's done. Carlos stands motionless, as if in shock, unable to comprehend the violence he's just unleashed. But in that silence, as the reality of what happened slowly creeps in, one thing becomes clear. There is no undoing this. The consequences are immediate, irreversible. The room is still. The world outside may continue. But for Anna, Carlos, and Monica, this is where everything changes. The rage, the pain, the anger, everything culminates in this one tragic moment. Anna stands frozen in place, her heart pounding in her chest, her mind struggling to process what's unfolding before her eyes. Monica, the woman who had once been her friend, lies motionless on the floor, her body still. The world around Anna seems to spin. But all she can do is stare at the lifeless form before her. The reality of what has just happened feels like a nightmare. One she can't wake from. As Carlos tries to revive Monica, the gravity of the situation sinks in. He is no longer the man Anna once knew. He is a man who has Committed a crime, one that has taken a life. And now, no matter how hard he tries, there is no going back. Anna's mind races as the weight of the situation crashes down on her. The sound of Carlos' frantic voice calling out to Monica fades into the background, replaced by the growing wail of sirens. In the distance, growing louder with each passing second. In this moment, everything Anna thought she knew about her life, her marriage, and the man she loved crumbles away. The sirens wail in the distance, closing in, and Anna knows that this moment will define everything. The life they built together, the family they once had. Everything is gone. The truth of Carlos' betrayal is now undeniable, and the consequences of his actions will haunt them forever. As the wail of sirens grows louder, the inevitable happens. Within minutes, law enforcement arrives and the peaceful suburban neighborhood is thrust into chaos. The house, once a place of love and memories, is quickly sealed off as a crime scene. Carlos is no longer just a man caught in a moment of rage. He is now a criminal, arrested for the death of the woman who once shared their life. As Carlos is led away, the weight of his betrayal, his violence, and the irreversible consequences of that moment become all too real. His life is over. And Anna is left alone. Her world shattered by the actions of the man she once trusted with everything. Now, as the police begin their investigation, Anna is left to pick up the pieces of a broken world. The life she knew, the love she believed in is gone. And what remains is a woman standing at the crossroads of grief, anger, and a future she never expected. As the weeks pass, the shock of that fateful night gives way to the cold reality of the legal battle that follows. Carlos is charged with manslaughter, and the courtroom becomes the stage for a battle of words, emotions, and accusations. Anna, once the woman who shared a life with Carlos, now finds herself on the other side, torn between seeking justice for Monica and confronting the painful history she shared with her husband. The case unfolds in front of Anna, whose heart is pulled in two directions. The defense paints Carlos as a man overwhelmed by emotion, while the prosecution depicts him as a jealous, violent man. Anna sits in the back row, her face unreadable, torn between wanting justice for Monica and the lingering love she once had for the man sitting on trial. As the trial continues, Anna is forced to face a painful truth. She is no longer the woman who loved Carlos. He is no longer the man she married. But despite the evidence and the emotional weight of the trial, a part of her still struggles with the love that remains. Can she ever reconcile the man she once knew with the man who stands accused of murder? The trial becomes a battleground for the truth. But the deeper Anna digs, the more she realizes that there are no clear winners here. Justice for Monica is needed. But in the wake of everything that's happened, can Anna truly move on from her past with Carlos? Can she ever find peace after the destruction of everything she once believed in? The trial, filled with emotional testimony and intense arguments, finally comes to An end. After days of deliberation, the jury returns and the weight of the moment hangs heavily in the courtroom. The decision has been made and Carlos is about to face the consequences of his actions. But for Anna, this verdict is not just about the man she once loved. It's about the life she now has to rebuild. Carlos is sentenced to prison. But for Anna, the sentence is different. The trial may be over, but the consequences of his actions will continue to haunt her. The woman she was before, the family they had, all of it has been forever changed. The pain is far from over. As the courtroom empties, Anna is left to face the aftermath. The trial is over, but her journey is just beginning. The man she once loved is gone, and the family she knew is broken. Now she must figure out how to pick up the pieces, how to move forward, and how to live in a world that no longer feels like her own. With the trial over and the verdict delivered, Anna is left to pick up the pieces of a life she never expected. The world she once knew, the family, the love, the trust is now shattered. She faces a future she never imagined. One filled with grief, loss, and the complicated feelings of betrayal. But amidst the wreckage, Anna finds a quiet strength. The road ahead may be long, but she knows she must keep moving forward. Anna is beginning to rebuild piece by piece. The journey will be hard, and the scars may never fully fade. But in the quiet moments, she realizes that she is stronger than she ever knew. The woman who once lost everything is learning to live again, one step at a time. And as Anna moves forward, she leaves behind the broken pieces of her past, knowing that in time, she'll rebuild. The road is long, but with every step, she finds the strength to keep going. What would you do if you were in Anna's shoes? Could you ever forgive the person who betrayed you so completely? Would you have the strength to rebuild your life after everything has been torn apart? We want to know your thoughts. Let us know in the comments below. Your story could inspire others who are facing their own challenges. If you found this story gripping, if it made you reflect on the power of trust, betrayal, and resilience, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more true crime tales. Stay tuned for more shocking stories that will leave you on the edge of your seat.